offline, and also for protecting them from people who might pretend that they're LGBTI to do harm, or what are the safety and security measures that you put up? Does anyone want to take that question?
Okay, some of the security measures that we do. Like I mentioned earlier, if we have to work with the community from specific district within Fiji, we don't do anything online. So we'll have focal points on the ground that already identify communities, and then they will reach out. And in terms of them coming into the space, it will be by this group, this focal point, who have known them, who they've already been a circle of friends. So it always starts off from a few friends that know each other, that know each other's partners, and then we'll move through. So we use what we call a snowball approach. So you start from within, and then you move out slowly. And the moving out slowly, it has to have boundaries. It has to have all this security thing that we have to set up, making sure that we do not do one of the practices that we always put in place is the do no harm practice. Not every community member that we work with, even though it's been 11 years we've been running, we still have community members that are in closet. And it's not our job or our duty to out them. So most of our organizing is still behind closed doors because of these people that are still in closet. And it's and we have security, and what we always do is if we are part of the meetings and we wanted to take photos because we still have some joy in how we are organizing, so we have different techniques. You'll have some of our photos online. You can visit the Diva page. Is that you will see some photos that are just wrist. You will have photos where you have certain numbers face up to the front, and certain will just show their backs. So those are some of the ways that we really want to prioritize and to make sure that the communities are well protected. And if something gets leaked out and one community is in danger, we have three approaches that we do. First is we have an anti-discrimination network committee that is within country because of this SERGISEC thing. But however they move their work, they're not under the government, they're under the UN. So however they move their work is also have a limitation. Then we also have the Fiji Human Crisis Center that we have built partnership with in terms of the protection of LGBTQI. Fiji Human Crisis Center deals mainly, it's a 30-year ongoing women's-led organization that focuses on violence against women. But because of some of the work that we've been able to do together, now they also are accomplice in terms of standing up for LGBTI women. So those are a few steps that we have in place. And I'm also part of the service delivery protocol of gender-based violence in Fiji. So now in terms of if any of our community get arrested or get detained or were taken into the police, I get the information. So part of the work that I do, I even work on Saturday and Sundays because I'll have some communities who will be dragged into cells just for some miscommunication or issue with taxi drivers. And then we have direct contact with the police commissioner. That work is possible because we've done a lot of lobbying for the past 11 years in trying to really make sure. And we also have research that is available, the Unjust, Unstopped, and Unreplaceable. Those are some resources that you can really learn more about the work that we do and some of the security that we have set up in place. Thank you.
So like just everything, like the way I said, I dabble in queer joy, so yeah.
Thank you so much. That is something I didn't know. That is really hard to get into Wikipedia. It is very hard. So if anyone has any contacts in Wikipedia, please reach out to us. We would love to have more queer content in Wikipedia. And Gloria, what is something that we should know?
I was thinking that maybe most of the of us who are here in this room are already migrants, internal or external migrants. But for sure that this process of migration was in an airplane with a job or with some position that we were moving to. And in thinking about being a migrant, what it means for us to be in this new position, far away from our friends and family. But if we think about the migrants who are crossing by walking a 2,000 kilometers route, what will it be? I mean, for the migrants we're working with, is a telephone, a cell telephone is a very, very important tool. Without a telephone, and in many cases, they suffer robbing, and it's very complicated not having a cell phone. Because with the cell phone is the way in which they can make contact with the organizations that they know that could support them, but even they can identify where they are. I mean, getting the map, but even if they have a small, weak telephone, they have a tool. But in many cases, we do not think that a cell phone could be so important for a migrant who is working, crossing a country. And I think that this changed our mind about that, at the need of. In many cases, I think that us being in our own city, we feel very weak and loose if we forget the cell phone at home. Just think about these people without a phone. What will happen to be crossing and not knowing where they are and how to look for some support. So I think that a cell phone is a very important tool for the migrants, and we have to think about it.
For almost a year, because the government didn't want the youth to actually use the platform to talk about the issues that's on ground. So I think it's about how do the technological services and operators come on board to create a framework that is more inclusive and less harmful for not just the LGBTQI community but everybody, because the increasing harmful nature of the digital space is trying to overwhelm the importance of the digital space. So it's how do we all come. That was why I was talking about representation, how we can bring everybody on board to talk about these different issues and hearing from different groups and spaces and how to make it better. Because that is the only way we can move forward. Because if you are in your office or in your space and you're thinking for other groups, you might not be able to understand how the space is actually harming them or creating harmful situations for them. But if you're able to open up spaces for people to give feedbacks, able to listen, and also using those feedbacks to create mechanisms that can help to checkmate some of the harmful nature of technological use, I think it's a good deal. Because, for instance, people make jokes about LGBTQI people online freely and nobody ban them, but you say your space was actually restricted because you put out some content. So it's about how can we checkmate these different messages that are coming online, because it looks like it's favoring some people, why it's not favoring some people. And if you look at our community, it looks like it's not favoring us more because it's where we get attacked the most, and that is where we can actually do our work the most. But for other people, have more spaces to do more work that are harming us, and nobody's actually blocking them or checkmating them. So these are why we have to actually ask ourselves those questions. First of all, are government actually willing to support? That is the first question. From my own context, they're not actually willing to support the spaces to be safer for people like myself, but they actually want it to be where the people can actually say things that favor them more. So I think it's a tricky question if government actually wants to support to make the space safe for minority groups. So, but I think more can be done if there is an opportunity for more representation and more feedbacks that can actually be used to create a safer space for everybody.
I think I can run and read it well. Mine is short and simple. Taking into consideration, we have to take into consideration everything was shared today by all panelists about how they are already doing the work and how we should support the work that's already been done, which platform is safe, which platform is easy to access, and which one needs to be adjusted to make sure the LGBTQI communities are also be part of it. And if we are transforming technology, then we also need to change. We cannot transform technology without changing the living conditions for LGBTQI in our states. And that should be the core of this changing technology. If our governments are already signing up for UN declarations and part of saying that human rights is really an agenda for 2030, then we need to change the living condition for LGBTQI communities globally. Thank you.